Dr. Adlin, thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm really, really excited for what you're going to be sharing. It's so fun as from a patient's perspective to see these, what they perceive as, gadgets. They truly are revolutionary in terms of that patient experience and care. What do your patients think when they see you really going through a full digital workflow? Because it does sound like you do everything top to bottom in much of a digital format as possible.
Patients demand this. They demand technology. They want things instantly. Some people still know that analog style of dentistry, but if they see other opportunities, other offices where it's on social media, or they talk to their friend and they got a crown in a single day, or they got implants in a single day, that is what they want. And we have to meet those demands. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind. It's a competitive world.
It's so interesting now that, we have all these platforms that give us views into, a healthcare practitioner's office that we just didn't have in the past. So I think that's such an interesting, we're at that pivotal moment where our end patient, the customer, is demanding a change in our standards of care. So it's, I really, really commend you for that. I have a question. So this is my magic wand question, which is one of my favorites. If you had the magic wand and you could design the perfect workflow, what would that look like?
That's such a great question. I think my team kind of rolls their eyes whenever I try to introduce something new. And I love bringing in new technology. Like, we're definitely early adopters. And the workflow, you scan something and then you design something, whether I design it or I send that out, and then you manufacture it. You have to process it. And again, like, I can send that manufacturing to a lab, or I can do it in-house, and then you deliver. So that framework, again, of the workflow is the same. But what happens is when you're introducing all these different technologies, you have to download here and you have to upload and you have to store it. And it goes to all these different platforms. And that's where it can get a little cumbersome and confusing for your team members. And, we have an active practice. We're trying to deliver things same day. And is it hard to download a file and then re-upload it somewhere else? No, it's not hard. But the other day, we have a patient who we tried to deliver the wrong night guard 4 times. And when we download our file, the default is the initials and the date. Well, how many patients have the same initials? And so this poor patient got 4 different people with the same initials uploaded into their file. And then, of course, frustrating on my end, because I have to pay for that design because we are outsourcing design, and you have to pay for that to print and process and the time of your team. And you think, like, how simple is this? Like, just get the right file. But when you're in a busy practice and they're moving around and you interrupt someone in the middle of it, or I need that computer for this, like, that's where things get really tedious. And so whether it's milling, printing, even just capturing our CBCT images or our intraoral photos, like, they're all going to very different places, and it takes that time. My magic wand by far would just be to condense it and simplify. All we want to do is just simplify the workflows. And that's how we're going to get more adoption.
That is the perfect response because, when we are starting to bring in disparate pieces of equipment, digital equipment, there isn't a common platform. And that's something that I'm personally working on, for the industry, because if we're going to have critical adoption where everybody is offering these types of important procedures to their patients, it has to be easier. It has to be simpler. So thank you for sharing that. And we're getting close to the end, but I did want to ask, it can be a little bit daunting to adopt new technology, and innovation is changing so quickly. What advice do you have for dentists that are considering adding a digital workflow to their practice? Where should they start?
First, you have to find what your passion is. Like, don't try to take this technology to change your practice radically if you're not passionate about it. And then as dentists, we don't always take the time to really spend with our whole team to do training, because it is important for our front office, for our hygiene team, for our back office, for everyone to know exactly what's going on, what's the differences, what's the message that we're giving to the patients. But also, it goes back to that simple, like, what is your why with it? Why should the team members take time to learn this? What's the benefit for them? And because it's a selfish world, and we want to know, like, why are we taking the time to do this? And then what's the benefit for the patient, which of course is why we're in this crazy world of dentistry. So taking the time to spend on training is huge. And then we also have to give grace to ourselves and grace to our team members if something goes wrong, because it's technology. It is absolutely going to go wrong. How do we handle that? And how we handle that is going to set the tone for the rest of your team and the rest of your practice. So having the grace to know things are going to go wrong. And then if you're not getting the feedback that you want, again, take that time to really evaluate it and say, can we pivot from here? Can we change it? Are we going to muscle through and say, oh, I just spent $100,000 on this, we're going to use it? Because again, you're setting the tone. So really, it's just take the time, have grace, and then just have fun.
I have to say thank you so much for sharing your perspective today. I know it'll be very, very valuable to our wider audience. Your knowledge and passion for digital workflow is really inspiring. So I'm so grateful to you for sharing your perspective. Thanks for joining us on Schein Chat today.
Absolutely loved it. Thank you so much.